Opposition's reaction to President's proclamation not unexpected. Cabinet Secretary, Presidential Advisor slams opposition's threat to investors. President meets civil society stakeholders on parliamentary issues, and education grant distribution nears completion. With this GINA News Capsule, I'm Janelle Carter. Good evening. As the administration continues in its effort to bring clarity to the populace on the President's proclamation to prorogue the 10th Parliament, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon has reiterated that the decision was constitutional. The Cabinet Secretary has also stated that many of the statements uttered by opposition members are rather misleading as it relates to the legitimacy of the decision to prorogue the Parliament.
My wife says, "Hell hath no wrath than a political party spurned." And I think she was getting at what ought to be seen as a fairly predictable response by the opposition.
The Cabinet Secretary added that it is obvious that it is going to take some time for the significance of the President's intervention to sink in and for a more matured perspective to be adopted by the parliamentary opposition. Presidential Advisor on Governance Gil Teixeira has described the statements made by senior political opposition members as dangerous and counterproductive, particularly with regards to potential future investors. The statements from APNU Executive Carl Greenidge following a meeting on November 10th in the Parliament building saw in part the former PNC Finance Minister issuing what government views as vile threats to potential investors. Greenidge said the individuals and businesses, Chinese nationals, Indian nationals, PPP associates, who they will give, whether it is broadcasting license, gold mining license, land grants, and the likes, we will not honor any of those obligations. The aforementioned statements by Greenidge are very dangerous, particularly to two nationalities, according to Presidential Advisor on Governance, Gil Teixeira. The decision of President Donald Ramotar on Monday to prorogue the Parliament was the focus of a meeting convened with civil society stakeholders at the presidential complex on Tuesday. The meeting, which saw participation by a wide cross-section of civil society, featured frank and open discussions of the way forward for both sides of the political divide, along with the rest of the Guyanese society.
We do endorse the position of having dialogue, and we hope that a solution can become very quickly on the matter.
I think dialogue is definitely needed at this time, and rather than say this side is right and that side is wrong, I think all the politicians should come to their senses now, because there's a period of goodwill, man. We're getting into the season of Christmas and all this, and I think this is the time for them to more or less have a discussion and talk.
Members of the Private Sector Commission and one-time minister in the PNC administration, Kit Nascimento, agreed that the president's decision is constitutional in keeping with the law and allows for open dialogue. Thousands of parents continue to make themselves available to uplift their $10,000 cash grant as the exercise is in its final stage. Prime Minister Samuel Hines on Saturday was on site at the St. Rose's High School, Church Street, Georgetown, to oversee the Because We Care $10,000 grant distribution. Speaking to the gathering of parents, teachers, and guardians, he explained the driving force that motivated the government in devising such an initiative. Already the exercise has been completed in most of the regions, with distribution ongoing in Region 8. Government has reiterated that it has in place a long-standing and functioning mechanism under which the ad valorem tax rate on fuel products is adjusted downwards when the world market price for fuel moves upwards and vice versa. The statement follows reports in the media regarding a supposed increase in excise taxes being charged on diesel and gasoline. This mechanism is in place to ensure that consumers are cushioned from spikes in world market price and has functioned effectively in protecting the Guyanese consumers from exorbitant price fluctuations when the world market price reflects high instability. Accordingly, the price consumers pay at the pump for gasoline and diesel has remained stable over the years. Thank you for watching this GINA News Capsule. Do join us again. I am Janelle Carter. Good night.